Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into the 143. This is Under Review. We're coming at you live with our Super Bowl recap episode 213. Nick, how are we doing today?
We're doing good. The last NFL game of the season. It was an interesting one, and we're here to bring it to you. Let you know what happened.
Yep. Definitely one of the Super Bowls of all time. That's one way to sum it up. But we'll dive in with the stat of the week brought to you by our sponsor, Andrews Logistics. Sam Darnold, first QB to win the Super Bowl, playing for 5+ different teams in his career. He's had quite the journey, as we've talked about multiple times on this show. And for him to have gotten that Super Bowl ring after everybody thought he was not very good, pretty impressive from Sammy D, and congrats to him for making it and winning it.
Yeah, big shout out to Sam Darnold. You love to see it. Player of the week, got to give it to the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker. Just has been an absolute weapon for the Seahawks. This entire playoff run, Zach Charbonnet obviously tore his ACL early on in their playoff run, and so it's been all on Kenneth Walker, and he has been showing out, and he showed up for 27 carries, 135 rush yards, and 26 receiving yards. So
great day.
He was a huge piece of that offense. Love to see K9, as they call him, I guess, getting out there and tearing it up.
Yeah, congrats to Kenneth Walker. Patriots had no answer for him whatsoever.
Averaging 5 yards a carry. I mean, he was having his way with them, just going out there bulldozing.
Congrats to the Seahawks. They, I think, are also like the first team to make it through playoffs without turning the ball over at all. They just played clean football. They really, other than the Rams lately, even including regular season, have just been blowing teams out. It's not even really been close until they play LA. So the Seahawks just seemed like the Super Bowl was going to be them, especially when the Patriots were the other team in the Super Bowl. Like we said, really had a nice cupcake schedule to get there. They played good defenses, but they played some very bad offenses. And Patriots defense is a good defense, so they shut those bad offenses down pretty well. I would say yesterday, like the Patriots secondary for the most part was pretty solid. Gonzalez was pretty solid back there, but they let Kenneth Walker do whatever he wanted. And also, the story of yesterday for the Patriots would be the offense and the O-line.
Offense was nowhere to be seen. Drake May just did not show up. Another big name that's been thrown out there is Will Campbell. He was getting absolutely obliterated on the offensive line. Was not doing anything to block anybody. They just physically could not. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't throw the ball. Drake May didn't have time to make a decision, and even when he did have time to make a decision, he was throwing it into triple coverage, missing wide open guys. Just not that good. It was not a super fun game to watch, just because the defenses played so well. The Seahawks were just kicking field goal after field goal in the first half, and then finally in the third quarter, we got a touchdown from A.J. Barner, and then all of a sudden, when the game was way out of reach for the Patriots, I think. Let me see what the score was. Yeah, it was 19-0, and it looked like that was kind of going to be it. And then all of a sudden, you see the Patriots kind of put together a couple drives, and they throws up a prayer to Mac Hollins, and it's 19-7, and you're thinking maybe they'll get back into it, and you're like, man, where's this offense been, all game? But then, there was just nothing after that. Seahawks went down, kicked another field goal, and then you had the 45-yard,
once
defensive touchdown.
once they got it to a 3-score deficit, you just knew it was over. You even felt like it was over with a 2-score deficit, the way that the New England offense has been playing. And credit to Seattle's defense. They've been one of the top 3 defenses all year. Mike McDonald coming in there and absolutely changing the culture, changing the defense. I would not give all of the credit to the defense as much as I would say Drake May and that offensive line, mainly Will Campbell, was not ready for that moment. And Seattle's defense played great, but Drake May also, I mean, you watch that interception he had, he just rushed to throw. He had plenty of time, and he literally just threw it to the Seahawks guy. I mean, there was no Patriot receiver in the area. And I just think, you feel for Mike Vrabel. He's a great coach. And, he's a great guy. I love his sound bites and everything. I think he had a pretty young squad, especially on offense, not a lot of experience there. But, at the end of the day, they didn't get the job done. The stats aren't great for second-year QBs who make it to the Super Bowl and lose. They have not made it back yet. Not saying you can't, but, New England fans obviously are like, well, Tom did it. We're going to watch him do it. It's like, really doesn't work like that anymore. The teams don't make it back. You have to be a great, great team and a great culture. Not saying the Patriots aren't, but you look at their schedule next year, they won the division this past year. Their schedule next year looks nothing like their schedule they played this year. If they were
quite the opposite.
Yeah, if they were going to win it, this would have been the year, in my opinion, because I don't think they're making it even close next year to the Super Bowl. If they play the way they've played this playoffs, because I think the offense has been a letdown in this playoffs.
Yeah, we just didn't see that Drake May MVP caliber type football. I mean, obviously they judge it off the regular season, but
right.
He just did not look in control. He was not a game changer, throughout the entire playoffs, and then obviously he was a game changer for the Seahawks, throwing 2 interceptions.
Absolutely,
and he got 2 touchdowns and a bunch of passing yards in garbage time when the game was pretty much already decided. But I guess the silver lining would maybe be that all your guys are young. Mike Vrabel in his first year, so maybe you can build a winning culture off this to help develop these guys. I mean, Drake May in his second year at least, put up really, really good numbers in the regular season. Had an MVP case. You say what you want about their regular season schedule, but this team, I mean, they still have potential with how young these guys are. I mean, you never know, but it's just going to be tough next year because of their schedule.
I don't think they're not ever making it back. I don't want to say that, but I don't think they're making it back next year. And Patriots fans are acting like it's that easy because they were used to that. But this is not Tom Brady. This is a very young quarterback who could maybe be there one day, but it's hard to compare anyone to Tom. But on the flip side, Seattle, I think, they definitely have a shot to run it back if they keep most of their defensive guys. I think other than Kenneth Walker, a good amount of their offense is still locked in. Kenneth Walker, he's going to be a free agent, and he's going to demand a lot of money. So I don't know, rightfully so. I don't know if they're going to bring him back or not, if they're going to be able to. I wouldn't go back if I was Kenneth Walker at this point because I'm just going to be splitting time with Zach Charbonnet the entire season, even though I'm the way better back.
I mean, what we were talking about was obviously the way with how talented Kenneth Walker is, there's no way he should be splitting carries with Zach Charbonnet to even begin with. But then you look at the way he performed this postseason when the workload was literally only him. I mean, there's no reason if obviously they were talking about the beginning of the game, like they're brothers or whatever, and everything Kenneth Walker's doing is over Zach Charbonnet. So, you got to say that or whatever for the media. But if I'm Kenneth Walker, I would consider going elsewhere just because you you're a proven running back one. You did it on the biggest stage in the NFL.
You won Super Bowl MVP.
In the Super Bowl, throughout the entire playoffs. I mean, there is no reason for you to be splitting carries with somebody.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think I don't think like Zach Charbonnet needs to move to a third down back only, but you at least need to be doing 70-30 at that point, not 50-50.
Not that Zach Charbonnet is like horrible, but I honestly think Kenneth Walker is that good.
Yeah, he is. He showed it.
And
once Zach Charbonnet went down, he showed it.
We got to shout out the state of Texas real quick. They had 19 Texas high school alums playing in that game.
Yeah, they did.
Just had to throw that little nugget in there.
Yeah, you're just watching the intros when the players were popping up on the screen. I just kept seeing Texas. We breed athletes. We breed champions, and that's something that Nick and I have said for a while. A lot of them are around the Dallas area that I was seeing. JSN, Rockwall, there's some guys like that. And just got to give credit where credit is due. We know how to do it here in this state. Now, the Cowboys need to obviously get some more Texas high school football players on their team because maybe that's what the problem is. But it is cool to see that many Texas boys in the bowl. I also want to give a shout out to our boy Tank Lawrence, DeMarcus Lawrence, former Cowboy. We basically told him he was too old, and we let him go, and he went and won a Super Bowl in Seattle. So now I don't think he was playing at the same level with us he was playing at with Seattle, but he probably was more motivated with the different.
He went out there, and I mean, he was a starter on this defense. Played a significant amount of time, significant amount of reps. And so you think about just
the guy that we were all fussing about leaving didn't do anything this season.
Yeah,
but the guy
that team got bounced.
DeMarcus Lawrence basically snuck out the door. We didn't even try to re-sign him, and he went and won a Super Bowl. And you're always happy to see the former Cowboys that really gave a lot while they were here. He was here for a long time.
I mean, that didn't make me mad. I mean, I was happy that he was able to go out and get a ring. Because obviously he's never going to do it in Dallas.
No, he's not. We know that's not happening. But want to give a lot of credit to Mike Macdonald, and that's a quick turnaround time. Like 22 months basically he got in. And the Seahawks were bad. They traded Geno Smith, or let Geno Smith go. They pick up Sam Darnold. Everyone thought they were going to be decent, but definitely not one seed, definitely not Super Bowl champions. And they proved everybody wrong, including us. And, so huge credit to him turning that team around. And, he told Sam Darnold yesterday, they'll never be able to take this away from us. That's what happens when you win the Super Bowl. It honestly doesn't matter what you do with the rest of your career because you have a Super Bowl at this point. So they have to say Super Bowl winning before they say your position.
I mean, they went out and, proved everyone wrong. Like, Sam Darnold was getting a lot of flack. Even for the amazing regular season that he had, he was even still under heavy criticism when the playoffs began because, they were kind of calling him out for being a non-playoff caliber, non-playoff performer, and he went out and put a good, solid resume of playoff games together. He didn't really overtake the game in the Super Bowl, but I mean, he still put up, good, solid numbers.
I mean, he had a great game against LA, and when he needed to, he was having a great game.
But you love to see that, and you obviously know the Minnesota Vikings have got to be kicking themselves for letting him go, and just
with as good of a defense,
kingdom to JJ McCarthy.
With as good of a defense and skill set and coach as they have at the Vikings, who knows what would have happened? If they had run it back with Sam Darnold, I think they could have had a lot of success this year if they had Sam Darnold at quarterback.
Yeah, that'll always be the $1 million question. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you could eventually let J.J. McCarthy into that role, but I don't think you needed to. Yeah, that's another topic for another time.
Yes,
But
it is.
we'll leave that for later on in the future. But anyways, here's like to end our shows on the review. Brought to you, it was a quote from DeMarcus Lawrence earlier in the season that got I say earlier in the season, it was
Preseason,
almost a year ago, I want to say. This quote got a lot of flack from some Cowboys fans, and even Mike had something to say about it way back when. But he said, Dallas is my home, but I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there.
And he was right.
That was the truth.
Not much else you can do other than prove it in your first year.
Next year.
Exactly. We're happy for him, though. Happy to see any old Cowboys succeed because we know they're not going to do it in Dallas. Thank you for tuning in this week. Thank you for being with us all season. But unlike the NFL, Under Review will be going every week, as we always have, forever. So thank you for tuning in this week. We'll see you next week with another episode of Under Review.